If you are thinking of a bank that takes care of customers' needs by providing quality services with flexibility, reliability, and innovation, think Trust Bank Limited. With Trust Bank Limited mobile banking, you enjoy services such as balance inquiry, mini statement, funds transfer between accounts, exchange rates, mobile airtime top-up, stop ATM card, checkbook request, and PIN change. Our real-time gross settlement allows the customer to instruct the bank to transfer funds from their account to another account at another bank. Our expertise and experience in international banking is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking, one bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and willing to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank Limited offer the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your cash with our ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
fay lempo warugal la ci képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 dalasi mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu ci $2,000 dalasi lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandeku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne warugal la pour ñu fay lu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment maanaam bépp contract bu waay joxe te ci biir réew mi lañu toog kon xaalis ci contract bi ngeen nangotoo war nga cee wàññi ci xayma téeméer bu nekk fukka bu fekkee ne contracto bi dëkkut ci biir réew mi bu boobaa di nga war a wàññi téeméer bu nekk fukka ak juróom lii mooy lempo bu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment lii mooy lempo bi nga xam ne yow mi joxe contract warugal la nga wëlbatiku dem fay ko ci maakaani GRA tax office bu la gën a jege mbete ci banque yi GRA jagleel pour fay lempo war ngaa jébal lempo bi si diiri fukki fan ak juróom gannaaw bi nga wàññee ci xaalis si contract bi amul benn contracto bu ñu teggil fay lempo bi xanaa mu fekk ne nguuri Gambia ñoo ko jégale boole si projet yi nga xam ne mbootaay ndimbali ñoo koy dépense GRA di fayeku lempo ngir yokk.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Biliomatic exercise book printing machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Biliomatic printing machine, GPPC can now render high quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities, all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel.
This is on Kerr Fatou. Fatou. Oli.
Hello and welcome to this special episode of our show, the Kerr Fatou Show, here on our studios in Bijilo, Tranquil, whatever you call it. Today is a great honor to be hosting Honorable Mai Fati. Everybody knows Mai Fati is my brother, so that's why I need Esa to be here today, just to give me that backup. And it's been a while since we have Honorable here. We're going to talk about a lot of things, Esa. After the elections, I was telling you we're going to have this series where we'll talk to political leaders, party leaders. We give them time. After the presidential, after the National Assembly, now we can check on them and see what happened. So we're starting with Honorable Mai Fati, and after that we'll have Honorable Mama Kande, Lawyer Dabo, Halifa Sallah, just to look at what happened and what is the situation right now, where are their parties at right now, what are they doing right now. So Honorable, it's good to have you back on the show. I said Mai Fati returns. Welcome to Kerr Fatou.
Thank you very much. I'm deeply honored to be on the show.
Yeah. Esa.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's just to say a warm welcome to Honorable Fati. Like when you posted yesterday, Mai Fati returns to
Kerr Fatou.
I was like, okay, this must be a very big show, an
yes.
interesting one for that matter.
Okay.
Because if like maybe he has taken a leave and now he's coming back.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been like almost a year. Right?
We're doing a tumultuous welcome.
Yes.
For him.
Yeah.
To have him here, but it's good to have him.
Okay.
Like you said, it's part of our series to engage leaders of political parties, because this is also part of democracy.
Yeah.
And we're glad that this is one of the products of the work done by, of course, leaders like Honorable Fati. In 2016, when we ended dictatorship in the country, we all know that it was difficult to have opposition political leaders having platforms in media houses to talk to the people. So this is the product of the work that was done in 2016, and of course Honorable Fati greatly contributed to that. So we're honored to have him here to have a discussion with you.
Yeah. And then before we start the show, I just want to remind our viewers that if you're watching and you want to support Kerr Fatou, please click on the stars and support Kerr Fatou indirectly. That will help us to enhance our programming. Now, Honorable, the last time I saw you was at the IEC. During the nomination process, and we spoke briefly, about what was happening. That was what happened during the nomination. Fast forward, you weren't able to participate at the presidential, but you took part at the National Assembly elections. Now, what happened? You lost your own constituency. What happened?
Well, that is politics. Generally speaking, I wasn't happy that I did not win that seat. Unfortunately, I lost the seat. But that's what politics is about. You win, you lose. I think the people of Woolly West, my constituency, felt that over a period of 5 years, cumulatively, that President Barrow had done a very good job. He erected roads. There's this very important road, primary road, which is very important to the people of Woolly, that connects Basse, to the rest of the satellite villages and towns. And also the road was there, the bridge. And then there was the market. And then there is NAFA project that gives 3,000 and a host of things.
Yeah.
So the people of Woolly felt perhaps they did not see any need to upset the status quo. they were happy with what they see with Barrow. That does not mean that they have rejected their own son. In fact, a lot of them thought that Barrow was doing very well in the area and that I should join him instead.
So what I want to come to that specifically, the URR, yourself, Honorable Mama Kande, and the President all are from URR. But it seems like the people of URR have rejected both you and Honorable Kande to choose President Barrow over all of you. Is it because of the development that's like you said, or you think they want you guys to join President Barrow?
Well, of course, both. There are a lot of people in my constituency and other people from the region itself, before the elections, during the elections, and when I declared my candidature, who came to me and said, look, Barrow is your brother, he's your friend. Why don't you work with him? We are happy, a lot of us are happy with him. And we like you too. We're happy with you. But we have to make a choice. It's you or him. And at the moment, we feel President Barrow is doing very well. We don't want to change, midstream the canoe.
Yeah.
And we actually don't want to reject you either. So the best compromise from here would like that you should work with him. That is what we want. That was a clarion call for a lot of them. Others felt really, over the past 50 plus years, the kind of improvement in their lifestyle, the kind of development that they also, particularly infrastructure, you are never experienced the type. And they felt that this is their decade. The president is from the area, he's done very well, and they want to demonstrate their gratefulness.
But Mr. Honorable, what role did you play in what role are you playing in informing the electorates in URR that those development that is the president or the government is bringing is their hard-earned money, is the taxpayers' money? That is what is they're bringing. Like this is what the PDOIs have been doing all these years, letting every Gambian know that whatever government, if government brings electricity or roads or bridges to you, it is not the president doing it per se for you. It is your hard-earned money. And I think political leaders like you or Halifa Sallah or Honorable Dabo and others and civil society members should take that role in educating the people, telling them, yes, the president is prioritizing this region, but the money or the resources that is being implemented is being used to implement these projects are your hard-earned monies. Are you doing that civil society, civil education? Because that is important. If that is why they're rejecting you, I don't think that should be a genuine reason for anybody to reject anybody. Because at the end of the day, I think it's more about people understanding where those developments are coming from.
Well, I agree with you. I think we've done that. We've been doing that consistently to make the people understand the difference between the person and the government. And you're right. One should credit Doi, Honorable Halifa Sallah and his team for doing that.
Yeah.
In fact, my own constituency is a beneficiary of that.
Yeah.
Let us be politically honest here.
Yes.
Honorable Halifa Sallah and Honorable Sida Jada did a great job in terms of political consciousness and education in my constituency. And so the people of Woodley West are among the most politically savvy in the country. That we would say. People say University of politics elsewhere, but we believe the University of Politics real politics is in Woodley.
The Badi Bunkas will say is from Badibu.
Woodley West is the real headquarters of national
Salikeje will say is from Badibu.
This we believe that.
Okay.
And during the 2016 campaign, political campaign, it was apparent to all the coalition leaders when we said this is Woodley, they all understood what it meant, this is Woodley. Now here, we did a good job to make the people understand, but politics is about choices.
Yeah.
And credit is due to the incumbent. Credit is due to whoever was able to achieve the program during his or her time. So you can make them understand that this is your entitlement, it is your development, but they say, yes, it's our development, but it's developed by President Barrow. And they would say in Mandinka, ha bari, akita ala jamano lela. Anata ala jamano lela. We had Jawara bari barole ni Cairo nata antolie. So as a result, we are not going to sababonying. So as a result, you cannot quarrel with that.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of them continue to pursue the idea that President Barrow is your friend, is your brother. Why don't you guys come together? You know?
Go ahead.
So, Honorable, now, let me just say this the way a lot of people are saying it.
Yes.
People said Mai Fati went to Wuli to run to to Khalifa Kasidia Boindi.
To go where?
Kasidia Boindi. Atata Wulile pour Kasidia Boindi pour President Barrow Ganye. Is that true?
Well, you know, Fatou, those are petty talks. I will not even dignify them.
Okay.
I mean, I am a national political leader. I think people who are peddling this kind of petty diatribe, really, I do not want to give credit to them. I don't want to dignify them.
Okay.
You know, everybody knows. I know what is implicit in that. Why would I go to Woolley to contest in order to bring down Sidia Jatta? Why? My party had contested against Sidia Jatta in the past. We contested in all the areas. Before I was in the coalition, I could not have contested National Assembly. I was Minister of Interior.
Yeah.
The subsequent election, first after that was the after the National Assembly election was after the 2016 elections,
yeah.
when I went in the cabinet, and there was parliamentary elections. I put up a candidate against him. I put up GMC put up a candidate against Sidia Jatta, and we fought hard. We nearly defeated him. The margin was very limited, and I campaigned against him there. I was everywhere campaigning against him, and then next came that was the council elections.
Yeah,
I put up a candidate against Sidia Jatta's candidate. My candidate won against his candidate. So who are saying these stories? This is the Gambia.
Yeah.
You know, political enemies will invent any story because they don't like you or they are not happy with your success.
Yeah.
You know. So look at this.
I mean, sorry. I wanted to come with my first question on a different footing, but then I think I will have to just say this because to continue the conversation.
Yeah.
You said you never contested against Sidia. Why would you do that? But you just said in 2017 you put up a candidate and you campaigned against Sidia.
No, I didn't say that. Let me explain. What I meant was I would not normally be a candidate just to contest against Sidia. That is what I meant. So that I did not contest against Sidia. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Just to go and contest against Sidia so that Barrow's candidate can win. That is what I meant. Why would I do that? Why?
But you campaigned against him in 2017.
I justify the fact that 2017 I put up a candidate against him to show that if I had the opportunity in 2017, if I was not in cabinet, I would have contested against him. But because I could not, I put up a candidate against him.
But the fact remains that you campaigned against him.
Oh yes, I did.
But why?
I campaigned against him.
Was he the only candidate?
I campaigned against him because my candidate was campaigning against him. My party's candidate.
But was he the only candidate with your candidate there?
Yes.
Were they the two contestants?
Yes.
Yes, they were the two contestants.
Okay. Yes. I wanted to ask my question, you know, starting with the GMC. In 2009, the Gambia Moral Congress was founded. And of course, this was an era when the political space was not that very tolerant. We had a dictatorship. But then it was also, it was the height of dictatorship, one could say. This party was formed, and what we hoped was that 2011 presidential election, Jammeh was going to be defeated. But subsequently, you contested. You did not put up a candidate. You did not contest the election. Rather, you were part of a coalition with other opposition parties, I think the UDP, right? 2016 too, you were part of the coalition. Starting in 2011, coming fresh, I think if you were testing the political waters, I mean, don't you think it was going to be wise to contest the election, to test your strength in the political space, rather than, I mean, joining an opposition coalition or alliance to stand against Jammeh?
Politics is about strategy. You don't just get up and do things. The strategy at the time required that a combination of opposition forces was more probable to defeat Jammeh, just like 2016, than going on our own. Prior to the elections in 2011, there were a series of discussions. There were about 8 sessions, minimum 8 sessions, where all of the opposition parties came together. All existing political parties at the time had series of at least about 8 discussions, meetings, confidential meetings where representatives took place in order to forge a united front, like what was achieved in 2016. The idea at the time was to put up one candidate against President Jammeh. There were 2 schools of thought at the time in 2011, because my party was on the seat. These 2 schools of thought were again rehearsed in 2016. That is party-led or convention-led. they surfaced in 2011 as well. We could not agree on the format. As a result, the proponents of both sides, convention-led, spearheaded by Honorable Halifa Sallah and co, and party-led, spearheaded by myself and Honorable Usuri Dabo, then ended up in different camps. We call ourselves the United Alliance, and they call themselves United Front. So the United Alliance was myself and UDP. We, took team up our resources together to contest under the umbrella of UDP as party-led, and Honorable Usuri Dabo as the candidate. I was in the ground. We campaigned all over. Now the United Front, together with Honorable Halifa Sallah, Honorable James Henry Gomez, and Honorable Ahmad Ba, they were on the United Front side. And they contested, and we know Honorable Ahmad Ba was the candidate for that front. So we lost that election. The idea why GMC went into an alliance was because we felt that there was strength in numbers and strength in resources. It was necessary for that to happen. And why we opted for party-led, at the time, it was necessary to support the party that had exhibited strongest amount of support among Gambians after APRC. And it was necessary to support UDP at the time because UDP had the infrastructure, the political infrastructure on the ground. And we didn't have much money, but we had organizational capability. And I felt it was necessary to support UDP and other parties to follow so we can have an agreement as to how the government was going to be organized post-elections. So we went in for the same principle that gave birth to 2016. That was why, and I knew, realistically speaking, I had no chance of winning an election. I was in exile, I was out of the country, my structures were very weak. A lot of people were worried that a political party who lived in exile, how realistic would it be, for him to have a national base? I was coming to that 2016 coalition. You were not around, right? I was around. You were around during the campaign. I was around before the campaign. Before the campaign, leading to the election. In fact, I had my congress, party congress, before. But a lot of people said, among all the candidates or the contestants at the primaries and the convention, Barrow was not the right candidate. What was your stance as a political party and of course as a leader, the leader of the GMC? What was your stance? That was it a wise decision to choose Barrow over the rest of the candidates that showed interest to lead the coalition 2016? Well, let us speak within context here. If you say a lot of people do not believe Barrow was the right person, I would disagree with you. Because President Barrow had the majority of votes at that convention, overwhelming, a landslide. And that is the majority. That is a lot of people. I'm not referring to the people that were present there that had the right. Well, I would disagree with you because the people who were there were representing the politics. Ordinary people that you talk to outside there in the streets will tell you that who is Adama Barrow? He is a newcomer. Nobody even know him in the political space. It is people like Halifa Sallah, people like OJ, others that people know. Barrow does not have probably the competence, the knowledge, and all that. Why would you choose Barrow over Halifa Sallah? Why would you choose Barrow over the rest of the candidates? Who said Barrow doesn't have the competence, the knowledge, and all that? This is what people say out there. When did they say that? But people said this. When? Before the selection or after the selection? That's what I'm saying. After the selection, people said this. Why would you choose Barrow over Halifa Sallah, for instance? Well, I haven't heard that. You may not have heard it, but this is something that people said. Well, I disagree. And I'm asking, what was the stance of your party? Obviously, support of Barrow. Obviously, my party did not only vote our delegates for Barrow. We actively campaigned for other delegates to vote for him as well. Why? Yeah. Because we believe that he was competent enough to lead. Barrow, at the time, had tremendous political experience. He was a national executive member of the biggest political party. I disagree with you. Barrow had no tremendous political experience. Barrow was just a deputy treasurer of the UDP. Let me tell you, Esa. Excuse me here. But if you have tremendous political experience, how? How do you convince me?
Well, what is he doing right now?
Excuse me. I don't think that is based on his political experience. Maybe you can come in. Okay, let me come in here. Okay. Let me come. I think you are passing judgment. Yes. It would be best if you say, you ask a question, why? Let him answer. And I started answering the question, but I felt that Barrow was competent. Yes. He had tremendous political experience. You should let me continue. But I could stop you and then you continue. You are now giving an opinion of your own.
Okay, let him. Let him answer. Let him answer.
You as a journalist.
Yeah.
I'm not a journalist.
Yeah, you're not a journalist.
He's a political commentator.
Political commentator. I see. All right. I would tell you, Barrow was not just a deputy treasurer. You should understand that UDP was a mighty political organization at the time. They were able to sustain a very difficult fight against a very brutal dictator, and so many in that camp paid for their lives. Sustaining an organization of that nature under such a very intrepid, hostile environment requires people who have character, who have ability, who have the audacity, who are very courageous and principled. Otherwise, you would give up. Barrow was among the operators of that machinery. He was in the national executive. It is not just being a deputy treasurer. He was in the executive that was the alpha and the omega, making the ultimate decision for that party. He sat at the executive level. You must understand that. Do not underestimate that. Secondly, prior to that, Barrow had contested National Assembly election in Basse.
Yeah.
How many people lost? People have lost presidential elections.
100 times, yeah.
People have lost presidential elections.
Yeah.
So losing is not the issue.
Losing is not a problem.
I'm trying to show you that this is a person who at the time was characterized as a grassroots politician. Somebody who also literally, practically, single-handedly took care of the UDP Congress that particular period, with tremendous, one of the most successful UDP Congresses, admitted by UDP itself. I don't think you would say such a person did not have political experience.
I mean, if you tell me that Barrow has a tremendous political experience, among all the things that you have said here, I haven't seen that. I can't say Barrow really has tremendous political experience. I mean, a lot of what some people said, because I remember, OJ during one of the media engagements said that he called for his delegates to vote for Barrow at the convention, because if the UDP or if Barrow had lost that convention, the UDP wouldn't have gone in for the coalition, and then Jammeh would have won the election. I said no. My argument has been, and I will repeat it here, you are seated, that all those that voted for Barrow, this is my proposition, okay? You can challenge this. But all those who voted for Barrow at the time, especially those that were not in good terms with the PDOIS, especially Halifa, knowing fully well that in 2011, like you mentioned here, you had a difference in 2011.
Let me butt here. I just let me butt here. Yeah. There was no animosity.
I'm not saying animosity.
No. The political difference was on ground of principle, and it was not such a momentum, such a magnitude that we would go against him because of that.
No, I'm coming. In 2011, you had a difference. Party-led. Of course, you had a difference with Doi. It was party-led.
When you say a difference, I want us to qualify it. We had different perspectives as to the way forward. It was not a difference as you characterizing it.
I'm not characterizing
that we would revenge against him and not vote for him.
I'm not characterizing it. I just said difference.
I just thought we should clear that.
You're the one giving meaning now. You're also giving opinion. As you said, I was giving opinion.
I think it's important we put it in context.
No, but you had difference. You agreed. You said it here. You had difference with Doi. Doi was in for the convention.
We had difference of approach. We didn't have.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's difference. Whether you
approach.
Call it,
let us be very clear. We had difference of approach.
Yes. Difference.
Yeah.
No. Because you can have differences which are not
difference
based
of
on
approach.
principle.
So you want me to say difference of approach?
Yes.
We had difference of political approach.
Yes.
Because it has to be clear.
Okay,
yes.
Let me add approach. That's not a problem.
Very good.
You had difference of approach. Doi was in for the convention-led, and you were in for the party-led. And coming to 2016, Doi was still in for the convention-led, okay? Even though we know very well that the UDP initially was in for the convention-led, party-led rather, but then they knew very well what was at stake. The UDP leadership, almost the entire leadership, was in jail. And if they did not agree, they could not form a coalition, Jammeh was going to win the election. So I am saying, probably people like OJ, and of course Honorable Mai Ahmad, who campaigned for their delegates to vote for Barrow, we're not looking at this in the context of, if Barrow should lose this convention, or UDP should lose, probably they will not be part of the coalition, and Jammeh will continue. It could be the difference.
No, you are wrong. No, you are wrong.
I am coming.
No, let's clear here.
Let him.
I can also butt in.
Let him finish. Yeah.
It could have been, I argued, that this must be the continuing of the animosity or the difference in approach. Not animosity, let me say it to be clear. difference in approach between Honorable Fatou and, of course, Halifa Sallah. Because they had that different approach in 2011. Now it seems it is reflecting in 2012 that we rather vote for President Barrow than to vote for Halifa Sallah, because if Halifa Sallah is different from Barrow, probably he's somebody that you cannot remote control as you will be able to do with Barrow. You do not have that.
No, excuse me, Fatou. I cannot allow this.
No, so Esa, let
go ahead. I cannot allow you to sit here and insinuate that we voted for. Wait.
Okay, let him respond.
No.
Let him respond.
I will not ask.
Go ahead, let him respond. Go ahead.
You cannot sit here and insinuate that we voted for Barrow because we could remote control him. And we did not vote for Halifa Sallah because we cannot remote control him. I think that is very ridiculous. That your argument is very. Excuse me. That is very. It is very preposterous. And you felt that we are just little kids, you know, who doesn't know anything about this, who doesn't even care about this country.
An argument. You could refute that argument.
I'm saying your argument.
Ridiculous.
No, I'm saying your argument is false.
Okay, he's saying
you have right to say it's false.
Yes.
Maybe you can provide a counter argument.
He said it is false.
I'm saying we voted for Barrow at the time because we believe that Barrow was competent enough to lead the coalition.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Now my argument is Barrow was not competent enough. I felt that.
And then to a view.
That is
and that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I feel that Barrow is somebody that most of them felt that they could remote control. And not Halifa Sallah, and that's why they voted for him.
Well, you are now here.
No,
excuse me, Halifa Sallah was not the only candidate.
Yeah.
You had, excuse me.
Let him.
You had Hamad Ba. You had Bolong. You understand?
Yeah.
And then Barrow also was there.
Yeah.
I mean, so all this is. Why are you considering?
Yeah, because you had a defensive approach with Halifa Sallah. In 2011, you mentioned Doi.
So Halifa was not the only candidate.
No, I'm saying you had difference with Doi in 2011. And that's what I'm trying to connect between 2011 and 2016. Why I think you could not vote for any other candidate but Barrow.
Okay. Let's finalize on this, Honorable. Go ahead.
Let me make you understand. Let me assure you that the choice for Barrow was based on principle. It had nothing to do with whether we agreed in 2011 or not. Absolutely. It had nothing to do with any difference of approach. If there was a difference of approach, perhaps we would insist on going on party-led. But a lot of us were convinced at the time the context requires, in order to have a united front, a coalition against President Jammeh, former President Jammeh, we had to make sacrifices. We must compromise. We must agree. We must give up some of the most important beliefs we had for the country, in the interest of the country, so that we can come together, forget our personal ambitions, forget about our differences. And that was why we supported what we did not support in 2011.
No, so
we did that on grounds of principle because we felt that if we continue, to insist that we are going to go with party-led, and they insist and their supporters they are going to continue with convention-led, we will be divided again. So therefore, we felt in the interest of the Gambia to salvage this country from the hawks of brutality, let us just compromise and give up our strong belief of party-led and go with convention-led, because it is going to be a democratic election. And whoever emerges the winner will become the coalition candidate. And that we did it on grounds of principle to sacrifice for this country. Whatever you say is your personal opinion, but this is our position.
Move on. No, Esa, I'm going to move. No, I'm going to move on because we spent so much time on this. I'm going to move on. That was 2016. Now we are in 2022. We have moved, so I'm going to move. Now, Honorable, I'm going to take you back to what you said. You said something in 2011. The reason why you did not contest because you were in exile. You were in exile, and you even though you had your structures, but you believe you could not have won. Now 6 years after you're back from exile, 2021 you wanted to contest, but you were not able to. You contested parliamentary, you didn't win. What is the state of the GMC as we speak? A lot of people said GMC is dead. You are not in government, no National Assembly member. How many councillors do you have? None.
We have one.
You have one. So a lot of people are saying GMC is dead. Now tell me, what is the situation, what is the status of the GMC right now as we speak?
You know, it's very interesting. When journalists want to project their view, they hide under the banner people say. Sometimes their personal opinion.
Well, no, people right now. I'm looking at my comments. People are saying that. So it's not journalists. It's the perception.
Okay, the perception. There. Okay.
Because let me even qualify. Even as a journalist can qualify this, because if you are not in government and you have no National Assembly member, or you have 1 or 2 councillors, what is the political capital of that party?
Let me explain to you.
Yes.
You see, political parties are formed. Without doubt, principally to form a government.
Yeah.
That is one of the main goals of any political party. You want to be able to mobilize a national support to enable you implement your policies nationwide in government. That is the objective of every political party.
Yeah.
Now, it's not built over time. It takes a period. It takes a period. It takes a period of time, and elections are extremely important.
Yeah.
But they are not the only role of a political party. There are other roles of a political party. You continue to build your grassroots support until you are able to reach that level. It happened to all political parties here. I mean, there are political parties that were nothing yesterday, but they're very big today.
Yeah.
So GMC is no different. We are not the only political party that is not in government. There is no political party that is in government today except NPP. And of course, they have co-opted 1 or 2 elements from APRC, but the government today is a full-fledged NPP government.
Of course.
There is no political party in government today.
Yeah.
Now, so that applies to all political parties. We have not won National Assembly, but political party leaders have also failed in their constituencies. There are political party leaders, national structures, who also have lost. They have lost drastically to their opponents in their own national, local constituencies.
Yeah.
This has existed. Now, but so to say because we are not in government, GMC is dead. How many
No, I've not just said government. Honorable, you are not in government.
That's
you are
what
not in parliament.
I'm trying to explain to you.
You are not in local, like when you come to chairmans and all this, you are not there. You have only 1 councillor. I'm just saying, what is the political capital?
Well, GMC still remains a relevant political party.
Okay.
We still continue to play our role as we can in terms of providing policy alternatives to what government can offer. We support government where we feel the government is right, and we will continue to do that. Where we disagree, we will offer opinion. As a political party, I would admit that we need to do a lot of work. We need to do tremendous amount of work in order to be attractive to Gambians, in order to stay relevant. And I admit that we have done some things we should not have done. We have made some mistakes in the past.
Like what?
Perhaps in mistakes in terms of strategy.
Okay.
And perhaps hindsight will teach us that some of those strategies should have been conducted in another way. We have made mistakes in terms of our mobilization. There were some mistakes in terms of our resource mobilization as well, resource collection. So indeed, there are tremendous lessons we have learned. Failure is also a lesson in itself. And failure is an experience that enables you to remedy, to rectify, to look inward, to be introspective. So I admit that GMC needs a wholesale reform from leadership all the way down to the grassroots. And that is a matter that I and others must work on. So I admit we are not in the best of shape today, but that does not mean we cannot be in the best shape tomorrow.
Yeah.
So GMC will continue to work hard. We are not really very attractive as a political party. There are reasons. Not only because we made mistakes, but the political environment and the national political culture also, there are contributory factors besides internal factors.
Yeah.
There are internal factors that militate against the velocity of our success. As a leader, I may have made mistakes as well. But there are also external factors that made it difficult for GMC to grow as it should. So you have to look at both these factors. What are the internal factors and the external contributory factors? We make a critical, analytical assessment of where we are and where we ought to be. Now, this is a matter that is being studied, but you don't stop.
Yeah.
You move on while you try to make reforms.
Reforms.
Yes.
You want to come in?
Well, you stopped me. So I don't know.
No, well, I stopped. I moved you from that. I'm sure. I moved you from that topic.
I'm sure the discussion is not the topic of only Halifa Sallah and my father. It's not the only topic. It's not the only topic.
It's not the only topic.
I moved you from that topic.
I would have been glad if you had allowed me.
No, I want to move from that topic.
I didn't come here to talk about my father.
November 2017. I think November 2017. Yeah, 10 months. After being appointed as Minister of Interior, you were relieved of your duties as Minister of Interior, and no explanations were advanced. But fast forward, I think in 2020, if my memory can serve me well, you had an interview with the Standard newspaper when you directly, as a journalist put it, directly questioned President Barrow to explain the reasons for your sacking. And you also had an interview where you said the reason for your interview could have been, you believe strongly, it was as a result of the President Barrow's decision or approach to get APRC on his side, because the people of Foni do not like you for so many reasons, of course, including the killing of Haruna Jatta and all that. So Barrow was kind of trying to bromance with APRC, and the people of Foni clearly, or the APRC clearly told him that we will not be with you as long as Mai Fatty is with you. Are you still interested in knowing why President Barrow sacked you in 2017? Because you in fact said that when you were very angry when Barrow said he sacked you for national interest. It was done in the interest of the country that you were removed. Are you still interested in knowing why Barrow sacked you?
Let me be very clear here. I have always believed, and I know it to be true, that the Constitution of the Gambia grants to the Gambia an executive presidency. Executive powers vest absolutely in the hands of President Barrow. He alone and no one else has the authority to appoint and to fire whoever he wishes into his cabinet. That is his right. The Constitution did not impose an obligation on the president to explain why. He could do so and keep quiet.
Yeah.
He could also choose to fire you and give a reason. It is up to his discretion. Now, even the courts, the appellate courts, the Supreme Court would hardly question the discretionary exercise of a lower court. Let alone, so the discretionary exercise of the president to explain or not to explain is really a subjective matter. So it is good practice if you can say why. It would be good standard practice if you can say so. Now, if you do not say so, there is no legal requirement upon you to do so. Now, all the ideas that have been stated here are things that are in the public domain. People said, a lot of people, let me come down, a lot of people, I have read several places. Yes. I have read several places where it was stated that I was disfavored by some elements in Fonyi, and that, in order for there to be a convergence of ideas or a convergence of relationship, it was necessary that I should be sacrificed. This was out there, and I put it forward. I say perhaps, because I cannot authoritatively say so, because I do not know, and I still do not know. But I'm not interested. I don't want to know.
But if you say, like you said clearly, President Barrow is not under any legal obligation to explain why he sacked anyone, but because he appoints, and he does not have to explain why he appoints anybody. But you said clearly that the public should know. People should know why you are sacked. The President Barrow should come out and explain.
Now the issue is, I was relieved of responsibility.
Yeah, really, yeah.
I do not know why. I was appointed minister. I never appointed myself because I'm not the appointing authority.
Yeah.
So the appointing authority, who has the right to hire and fire, fires you. I think it is normal for people to ask the appointing authority.
Yes.
I don't know. So as far as this issue is concerned, that is where the matter rests with me, and I will no longer discuss that matter.
Yeah, you said that clearly, that it would be good if President Barrow could explain to the people. But when you also decided to resign from your role as special advisor to the president, you were asked by the journalist to say, why did you resign? You said you felt that you were no longer, I don't know, how did you put it again? You were no longer useful in that role as special advisor to the president. And the journalist pushed to ask, why, what are some of the reasons why you felt that you are not useful? You said you took an oath of secrecy and you will never divulge those information to anyone. Okay, the same way you feel like you should not explain why you decided to resign from that post is the same way President Barrow could also say, I took this oath of secrecy and I will never reveal the reason why I decided to relieve Honorable Mai Ahmad. Don't you think this is fair enough?
I don't know.
You should be able to, Honorable. If you ask President Barrow, you push President Barrow.
You're asking me, don't you, maybe. I cannot answer.
I didn't say maybe. I said,
you say maybe President Barrow could also.
President Barrow to explain why he sacked you.
Well, President Barrow has never explained why.
Yeah, the journalists also press you.
The national interest is very varied, it's vague.
But that's what I'm saying.
So,
he also asked you to explain why you resigned, and you said, no, you will not explain that because of oath of secrecy.
No, I didn't say that.
That's in the interview.
And I never said that.
You said you.
I never said I wouldn't say so because of oath of secrecy. I never said so. Prove it.
No, it's not. You see, I'm paraphrasing you.
No, I'm telling you.
Quoting you.
No. I'm saying I never said that.
I'm not. This is what you said.
No, you did
I'm
not,
not quoting. I'm paraphrasing.
You did not paraphrase me. I never said such a thing. You are saying that. Not
you
me.
said. You will not reveal the reasons why you feel.
I never said so.
No, you said this, Honorable, in an interview.
Which interview?
Of course, it's an interview. It's online. It's all over.
Produce it. Take your.
I don't have to take my phone. I can take my phone to produce that.
Then produce it.
There. I can tell you it's there.
It's
you
false.
had this interview with Fourier.
I said it's false.
It's Fourier radio. You can go back to the record.
I don't have to go back.
It was in the local language.
I said no. It does not exist. Prove me that it exists.
It was in Wolof. I don't have
to
go
and take my
phone to show that
it did not.
There.
It did not exist.
But what did you say then? What did you tell?
I did not say that.
But what did you tell the journalist then?
Well,
because he asked why you resigned, and you said you.
I gave my reason. I felt that I was no longer useful.
And he pressed
that is all I said.
And he pressed further to say, what are those reasons?
No.
And you said, I took an oath of secrecy. I will not talk about that.
That is not true.
But that's what you said, Honorable.
Okay.
I said I didn't say that.
It's there in the records.
Prove it.
It's there in the records. I couldn't go and take my phone to show that. It's a live show.
Then you are not telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth.
I'm challenging you to prove it.
I will. After this program,
you don't have to. I am on internet. I can give you my phone. No, I'll give you my phone. I'm on internet.
So okay.
On my phone,
well, can you start your phone?
We have.
Unless Fatou allows me to.
Esa. We are a lot of people are watching, so let them.
I want you to allow him.
It's there. I will prove it.
It's important for the public to know the truth.
There.
Yeah, prove the evidence.
He said that he will not talk about those reasons because he took oath of secrecy.
Can you go?
If you allow me, I will take it.
Yes, I allow you.
I'll give you. As I continue the interview. So now, Honorable.
Please
now,
go ahead.
In 2021, the Gambian people gave another mandate to President Barrow,
right,
and he became president again for the second term.
Yes.
Now, we have gone 6 months past to his in the new government. What is your assessment of the new government?
I think the new government has a lot of muscle, a lot of good brains out there, technicians, people who have proven their mettle in their various areas. And I believe that if they are given the opportunity to deliver, I think we can see some very good improvement in the government's delivery system. So I have confidence in the kind of people who are there in terms of some of the technicians, in terms of what they have achieved in other areas. Mm-hmm. And they are not strictly politicians. Yeah. You know, these are not people who are looking for votes. They are not looking to please anybody. Yeah. They have achieved remarkable success in their fields. And I think for now their interest is national service. Well, it is. We still have to see whether that is going to be the case. Yeah. It's too soon to make a judgment. But the indications look good. The indications look good. Chin bu naree ne waaw so xeeñ bi la daal xaw ma ndax
xeeñangum na daal
xaw ma ndax xorom bi dina ëpp waaye xeeñ na
xeeñangum na. And yesterday was it this morning or yesterday I saw an interview that you did with Standard newspaper, and you said the President Barrow is the most, did you say the most democratic, most tolerant government, the
most tolerant political leader.
Political leader.
Political leader in the history of the Gambia, yes.
Okay.
That's it. So.
Can you deliberate on that?
Yes. Based on practice, President Barrow is a very tolerant person. We have seen an explosion.
Did you say more tolerant political leader?
Most tolerant political leader.
Most tolerant political leader.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. No, I say his government is most law-abiding, most tolerant. I remember what I said.
Okay, let's go to it. Tolerant first.
I'm willing to say.
Yes, most tolerant.
Yes, most tolerant.
Right, yeah.
Well, we have seen an explosion of media in this country, 2017 to date.
Yeah.
Radio stations, private radio stations have mushroomed. In fact, we are losing count of how many private stations are there.
Yeah.
All of these private stations have political programs. In all of these political programs, they continually, persistently hamarage President Barrow, hit him on his head, say things that are most unpalatable. Most unpalatable. The president hardly engages a lot of these people. Of course, his political operatives may do sometimes, but he's able to at least successfully restrain himself to get down into the arena.
But recently, Mr. President, I'm going to comment, but recently President Barrow did not do, he was not restrained when he attacked Mahdi Jobate on a national platform.
What I'm telling you is, there will be instances because there is no foolproof system.
Okay.
I mean, when you have anecdotal issues here and there, suddenly President Barrow would say things on political platforms that many people wish he did not. You know, those are instances on the political platform. I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm talking about tolerance.
Yeah.
He may say something, but Mahdi Jobate was not arrested. Mahdi did not disappear. Mahdi was not charged. President Barrow is a citizen. President, but also a citizen. As a citizen, he's also entitled to his views. People must understand that he can make presidential statements, but President does not lose his individuality because he's president. He has a family. He has his friends. He has his neighbors. That individuality is there. He has never lost that and will never lose that. If he finishes the presidency, he will assume his individuality, but former president. So President Barrow, you know, can express his views as a citizen. Many people would consider this as a presidential statement. And I understand, and I would understand that a lot of people can hold that view. But I believe that he can also make an individual view. Just like I can say, well, this is what I support, but it may not be GMC position. I have heard political leaders say, this is my view, not the view of my party. They are trying to demonstrate their individuality. So President Barrow can also express his frustration, so to speak, with Mahdi Jobate. But Mahdi is still out. Has Mahdi been arrested?
No.
On the abnormal circumstance, because that's not normal circumstance. In another dispensation,
if it was
we would have been running after
Mahdi was once arrested here
for
his views.
So Fatou,
but that was not against President Barrow.
So Fatou, let me state here. That is a tremendous amount of restraint, tolerance. Now, the Gambia has no political prisoners. Nobody is in prison today. There is no political prisoner in this country. That is very few of most countries in the world. Even though some of the things that are said about President Barrow, if they are said about me, I may have acted in a different way. Maybe. Yes. So, but people's personal dispositions differ. And that is how, and maybe said about other political leaders, I can imagine what may be their likely reaction. So, the fact that he is able to restrain himself, even though he may be angry, unhappy, and frustrated about it, but it did not provoke him to use his executive authority, excessive powers, the enormous powers he has to go after individual citizens and then take a hammer to kill a mosquito. You understand? That is there. The other thing why I say he's extremely tolerant is that this matter with the law, rules of the courts.
The courts,
I mean, from former Minister of Jabatambidu's time to now, the state have lost a few cases. You know? And it is unheard of some years ago. Not only did the state lose this case, the state respected those decisions. The state paid people, even for decisions of the ECOWAS court. Do you understand? And that is an extra jurisdictional matter. So these are matters in which he has demonstrated sufficiently that I am a man of democracy. I am a man who believes in some form of, I may not like you, I may say things about you that are not palatable, but I will respect your rights.
But what's your position on the right now, what is happening, the global home issue with the government? I mean, that is a matter of the courts as well, because the courts have given the global home, they have given them, well, how do you call it? The courts rule in favor of them, but the government is refusing to accept the ruling of the court. And yesterday, the Attorney General issued a statement that say they are cancelling the lease that it was issued. Obviously, the government has the powers. They issue lease. They have the powers to cancel. And they said they have, even though the court has given a ruling, and the ruling was in favor of global home. So how can you say that this government is the most, what was the word you said? law-abiding of all governments that we had?
Yeah, you don't choose. In fact, I do not know if Global Homes would qualify for that, because I am not in the position to speak to the facts of Global Homes, because I don't know the facts of that case.
Okay.
And I do not know what the court had, the finality of the decision. So I am not eligible to make any judgment or any concrete view on the matter, because I do not know all of the facts. I do not know what might transpire in court. I'm only getting gist here and there from social media and from people. So I am not in the position to respond to what is out there, because first and foremost, I'm a lawyer. If I want to make a statement on judicial matters, I think I should have an opportunity to look at the text. I haven't had that opportunity yet.
And I think the reason why a lot of people are saying this is because it's the timing that you said this, made this statement.
Not because, whatever the timing may be, one must also look at the context. The context is Global Homes. If you, in this case, is not against President Barrow, but his government.
You said the law-abiding government.
Yes, about his the law-abiding government.
Yes,
but what I'm saying is that a decision of the Supreme Court of the Gambia and other decisions
have been respected,
went against the President Barrow's personal decision. I knew this at the time because I was special advisor to the President. I knew it was a decision the President made. And as President, you make some decisions, very difficult decisions sometimes. The decision was President Barrow would wish that Yakumba Jade did not return to National Assembly. And he could have refused to obey the court order. What would have happened? There would be a lot of noise. Nobody would go and arrest him there. Yakumba would not have gone back to Parliament. Yajama had done it. It happened. I don't want to go back because the former president is not alive. Let me finish now. So what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say here is that President Barrow had respected, his government has a track record of respecting court decisions. That is so far. Of respecting decisions made by the court. Now, this one has not been respected. It is alleged, because I don't know. It is alleged that this one has not been respected. I am saying it is out of character. It's out of context. It is inconsistent with the record so far demonstrated by the government. The record of respecting court decisions. This one is inconsistent with that. So this is, I'm not saying the government was right or government was wrong. I'm not saying Global Homes was right or wrong. But I'm saying based on the context, I do not understand how this could happen.
Fatou, we cannot also allow Honorable Fatou to tell us that President Barrow could have refused the decision of the court and Yakumba will not go back to Parliament and who will do anything, nothing will happen. We will not allow that. I think that will defeat, the purpose of even the coalition 2016, why Ajami was removed. I think I'm disappointed that that is coming from Honorable. That is indirectly accepting dictatorship in this country. If court rulings are made, I think what is right to say is to tell us that President Barrow, of course, did accept the court ruling and he would have accepted it whether he likes it or not, because that's the democracy that we've built. But if you're sitting here telling us that President Barrow could have refused the decision of the court and nothing will happen, that is so disappointing, Honorable, with due respect. But then going to the issue, the 4-year interview.
Well, that's your view.
Yeah, it was held on October 11. Yeah, that's my view, what I've said here, but it's so disappointing. October 11, 2019, this was the interview that you had. It was written by Mamadou Jaju. It was an interview with 4-year journalists.
What was the form of the interview? Was it question and answer? Or
Let me see.
Well, it's here. It's said.
Could you give it to Fatou to read?
Said.
No, could you give it to Fatou?
I made a personal commitment.
No, could you read?
I was appointed
excuse me.
Let me
Can
see.
you give it to Fatou to read? I want to look at the context.
No, but Fatou, he said he was willing to give me his phone for me to sign.
Yes.
So what is the problem with me reading?
Okay, read it.
Do you have a problem Fatou reading it? Do you have a problem Fatou reading it?
Let me read it because I'm having it.
Okay, read it and I'll verify it.
I made a personal commitment. I'm quoting. I made a personal commitment when I was appointed that the day I do not feel challenged, I will leave. I no longer feel challenged, and I also did not feel being useful as a special advisor to the president anymore. And so there is no need to continue. As simple as that, he said in a press conference held on Friday. Pressed by journalists to reveal what he found not useful about his contract as advisor to the president, Fatou said he swore an oath of secrecy. Therefore, what he advised or spoke about with President Barrow remains between themselves.
I disagree. That is not the context. This is a journalist who is reporting what he understood from my press conference. He did not quote it. No, he's not quoting. No, excuse me. He's not quoting me verbatim.
But that's what I also said.
Can you allow me to answer? Can you allow me to answer?
Okay. You go ahead.
Now, my answer is that let me have a look at it.
Let's see.
Let me have a look
Let's
at
see.
it. I
Where
will
did you
clarify
get
it for
this?
you very easily here.
Okay.
I'll clarify it very
okay.
easily. I will clarify this very easily.
Okay.
Pressed by journalists to reveal what he found not useful about his contract as advisor to the president, Fatou said he swore an oath of secrecy. Therefore, what he advised or spoke about with President Barrow remains between themselves. You see, if you look at this answer, it has nothing to do with the reasons for my resignation. No, let me finish. Okay. I'm answering your question now.
Go ahead.
Now, pressed by journalists to reveal what Fatou he found useful about his contract as advisor to the president, what he did not find useful about his contract to the president, Fatou said he swore an oath of secrecy, that what he advised or spoke about the president. So you see, this press about what I found in my contract not to be useful.
Yes.
I should have said in my contract, this and this are not useful.
Yes.
But it says, but Fatou said, what he advised or spoke about with the President Barrow remains between themselves. So you can see this answer has nothing to do with what is in the contract. Fatou, can I answer?
Let him finish.
No.
Okay,
let me answer. Let
him finish.
You asked me a question. Don't you want me to answer?
Let him answer.
Okay, answer.
Let him
Can
finish.
you allow me to answer?
Yes, go ahead.
So here, the answer is talking about what Fatou said, what he advised or spoke with the president will remain confidential because he is bound by oath of secrecy. That has nothing to do with the content of the contract.
No.
Because the content of the contract is a public.
It's advice.
It's a public document.
Yes.
What is in my contract is a public
public
document.
Yeah.
My letter was sent to me by PMO, Personal Management Office. What is there is a matter of public record.
The contract is about advising the
so
president.
No. The contract is not about advising.
You cannot win this. You cannot win the argument with a lawyer.
So here,
this is not about
the
being a
answer
lawyer
is
or not.
inconsistent. The answer is
You
inconsistent.
cannot.
No, it's not there.
This is very clear.
No, it's not there.
His contract is about advising the president.
In fact,
if you tell the journalist that when I discuss with the president, whether I advise him or not, I will not reveal that.
No. What is in your contract that you don't like? It's different from what did you advise President Barrow?
But the president is not.
There are two different things.
It's not the journalist is not asking that. The journalist is asking, what don't you find useful in your contract? Then you did not answer the question in the right way.
No, that is not true. There is a gap. There is a gap between what is in the contract and what did you ask. I remember, Fatou, I was asked to discuss some of the things I advised the president on. Until I told Pamodu. In fact,
that's a different interview. That's member Kerr TV.
No, that was the day of my interview when Pamodu was there at the hotel. That was the day I was asked. I remember very well. No, it's not. It's
member Kerr TV.
No, that's not member Kerr. No, not member Kerr. This particular question was asked. Pamodu asked a number of questions. One of the questions, in fact, I told him that was about the 3 years Jodna. And I told him 3 years is like Ado, and then the 5 years is like Farlow. So when Ado and Farlow combine, you take the Farlow.
Yes.
So that was same day, I was also asked to give an example, to give what are some of the things you advise the president on. And so many journalists, since 2019 to date, continually hammered me, what did you discuss with the president? Every time I have an interview, I am asked on this, and I give the same answer.
But this one is not
what I have discussed with the president will remain behind closed doors till eternity. It will never come out.
We move on. You know you can never win an argument against a lawyer. Esa, you are a political commentator. This is a lawyer.
I don't think. I think Honorable is just admitting. He's just admitting. I mean.
Now let's move on.
You cannot make your opinion mine, and you cannot put words into my mouth. I did not admit anything.
Okay.
And do not insinuate that I admit I did not.
Next question.
Okay. Yes, do not make your opinion mine.
You're just stopping me. I don't know.
Next question.
I don't just know. I mean.
Go ahead. I did not stop you. Go ahead. Next question.
Okay. Honorable, it is 2 years or 1 year, few months rather, after the presidential election, December 2021. And of course, like Fatou said, you weren't happy that your candidature was not endorsed by the IEC. And, a lot of people out there, I will use the word a lot of people, out there were like, okay, now that my party, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, are not endorsed by the IEC to contest the election, they should join the opposition to remove Barrow, because they are in the opposition and their ultimate goal is to form government, as you said. That is the ultimate goal of all political parties. People want to know why you decided not to join ranks with the opposition to go against President Barrow in the December 2021 election, to the extent that people try to say that, look, I think Honorable is not consistent. Yesterday he will speak against, spoke against Barrow. Today he will say Barrow is this. And of course your recent comments made people to believe that, well, is Honorable looking for a position in Barrow's government? I mean, so where does Honorable lie? Why didn't you go with the opposition outrightly?
Let me come here.
Go against Barrow?
Let me come here. I mean, you said, a lot of people said I should go to the opposition. A lot of people told me go to Barrow. So both sides exist. There are people who came who said, well, you should join this particular party. There are others who said you should go to Barrow. So both existed. Yeah. Now you would wish that I would have joined an opposition party. That would be your wish.
No.
So but let me tell you this. In fact, let me make it clear.
No, you can't say that.
Let me make it clear.
No. Can you clarify?
That is my view. I believe that is what you want.
You believe that is what I want?
Yes, that's my belief.
That's a very wrong belief.
Well, anyway, it's my belief.
You got it wrong completely.
Fine, but that's my belief. That's
Charles, can you adjust SR's mic?
Now the issue is, on hindsight, in fact, I should have joined President Barrow.
Why?
Because if you put the alternatives on the scale, I prefer the program better than other alternatives. Besides my own. Which program? Well, President Barrow had a manifesto. He had a program. He had a program of
NPP
activities.
manifesto?
Yeah. Yes, for me. Okay. For me as an individual.
Seriously?
For me as an individual, yes.
I read that manifesto.
But hold on. Let me come in. Before that, let me come in. Honorable,
yes.
When you left President Barrow's government, you were removed, and then you came back as an advisor. When you left, you said you did not feel useful. And after that, on subsequent interviews, you were not happy with the way government was going. Even on my interview.
I'm still not happy with I'm still not happy with a lot of things that
happened. But then, if you tell me that you felt that President Barrow's program was better than all other contenders, based on what?
Well, if the question is, he said,
yeah, I'm
answering within the context.
Yes,
the context is,
yeah,
a lot of people believe you should have joined the opposition.
Oppositions, yeah.
Yes.
Different ones.
You should have joined the opposition in order to bring down Barrow's government.
Yeah.
That was what is
because you wanted to contest.
I said, if I were to do that, if I were to go either side,
yeah,
I would have, personally, from my point of view, I would have joined President Barrow.
What was better in President Barrow's manifesto than all
you can specifically point out?
I believe that because there are governance shortages.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that need change. There are too many things I'm not happy about in the manner in which governance is being conducted in this country. There are too many things I'm not happy about. But there are a lot of things also that I appreciate. Everything cannot go wrong. Some things go right, some things go wrong.
Things are right, yeah.
So if I were to exercise a choice, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I were to exercise a choice, I would see the consolidation of some of those development gains in the area of infrastructure, in the area of the economy. Accountability, we still have a lot to do with. We still have a lot more work to do at accountability. We still have a lot of work to do with institutional reforms. We still have a lot of work to do with law reforms, legal reforms. We still have a lot to do with security sector reforms. All these are governance issues that must be tackled. I believe that. And I believe if I were to exercise a choice, which I did not, if I were to, what people are saying, you said what people say.
Yeah.
I'm saying that if I wanted to at the time, if I was going to, instead of going to opposition like you said, I would have gone to Barrow. And really, it doesn't matter to me what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
Because everybody is entitled to your political opinion and your political beliefs. Yeah. Some people will recommend my belief. Others will say I'm a devil. Others will say I'm a palasi. I don't care about that. Because I'm an individual. You cannot be me. I cannot be you. You cannot think for me. I cannot think for you. What I think is good for the country may be different from what you think is good for the country. So I stand by my views. I support my views. I follow my views. If you do not like me for that purpose, fair enough, you are not a Democrat, because you should protect my right to my beliefs.
Okay, thank you.
So if I believe that going with President Barrow was the right thing, nobody should be stopped by that.
I was specifically interested in you pinpointing some of the programs that you think are better compared I'm coming. Just allow me to learn.
I'll just
allow me to learn. Compared to what the opposition have.
Please.
But then you mentioned these reforms, security sector reform with our legals, whatever. I mean, all these one could argue are failures of the Barrow government for the past 5-6 years.
No, all of them. It's not just Barrow. All the coalition leaders.
No. Fatu. It's not about.
It was a coalition government.
Fatu.
Yes, it was a coalition
No, you see, let's remove coalition here. It's President Barrow who was leading that coalition.
Excuse me.
But it was coalition government.
No.
For some people, if you say coalition failure, it means Halifa Sallah has failed. For some people,
I think he's accusing
and that is a no-go area.
I think he's accusing me.
This is everybody.
That's
The coalition, it was all of them.
You see, forget about the coalition here. It's President Barrow's government. Barrow.
I disagree with you. It was a coalition government.
It was a coalition government. What we are saying is that it was President Barrow who was given the mantle of leadership of this country.
President Barrow was voted on a coalition agenda.
No, I'm not denying that.
So if it was voted on a coalition agenda,
When I say that it was failure of the Barrow government, what does that mean?
No, it was a failure of the coalition government.
No, but coalition government, Barrow government.
Well, it's all of them.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that all these reforms that you have mentioned here are failures of the Barrow government.
They are not actually.
Now,
they are not actually failures.
No,
they are not failures.
No, they have failed in the past 5-6 years.
They are not failures.
In the past 5-6 years, in context.
They are not failures.
What are they?
Context matters.
What are they?
You should. Thank you very much.
What are they?
That's what you should do. I mean, can you learn a little from?
No. It's not about. I
said they are not failures.
That is your opinion.
I said they are not failures.
Just like you keep on saying it's my opinion, it's equally your opinion that they are failures, and it's my opinion that they are failures.
I'm very happy you are here.
For the past 5-6 years.
I'm really glad you are here.
I'm glad you are here.
Now tell us, yes, especially the security sector. You led the security sector reform.
Yes, indeed. You
were the interior minister.
I initiated it.
Yeah.
When I say they are not failures, because these are legacy problems. They are legacy issues. These are issues that derive their origin from 20 years of dictatorship. The security sector is in a mess because of the legacy of 22 years.
Yes.
Institutions are in decay because of the legacy of 22 years. Public finance management accountability mechanisms collapsed because of 22 years of dictatorship. These are failures of the dictatorship. They are inherited by the Barrow government and the coalition. So now we had the responsibility of rectification. They cannot be attributed as original failures. What may be a challenge is that the pace of reforms were very slow. And you need to understand that context as well. So we must look at the source. Every problem has a source.
But that's what I'm saying.
If you do not tackle the source, if you don't look at the origin of the problem, but
that's what I'm saying. Context here. When we say failures, we're referring to context here. For the past 5-6 years, all these reforms that we talked about, even the security sector reform, you initiated it. Where did you leave that security sector reform? And where is that security sector reform? 8 years or 7 years after Barrow came to power since 2016. Where is that SSR?
Well, let me tell you this. Sierra Leone and Liberia were ravaged by war.
Of course, there was post-conflict security sector reform.
Coming to 30 years, they are still implementing security sector reform, and they still have not succeeded.
Yes.
You see, these are very delicate and sensitive issues. There are elements of the reform that could have been expedited. But you see, it is an institutional issue. It's a systematic issue. You are not just dealing with a system, you are also dealing with mindsets. You are dealing with mindsets as well. And it is very difficult when you are dealing with condensed, settled mindset. People have a certain way of doing things. They have specific beliefs as what to be their role and their responsibilities. And now you have to get into the mind of the operators of the system. Changing that psychology is not mechanical. You see, it is institutional, it is systematic, it is practices, and they evolve over time.
Of course.
So you see, I understand that. I did not say they are failures. I said still a lot has to be done, meaning something has been done. And no, it would be disingenuous to say nothing has been done. But I said a lot needs to be done.
I'm not saying nothing.
And you said those failures are failures of Barrow.
You mentioned a lot of things. That is where we differ. We all going back to the point of why you think you prefer Barrow over the others. And you could not tell me any program, any specific program.
You see, now let me tell you. Now, if I could not, let me tell you now. Let me tell you. I believe that there should be continuity with the infrastructure programs. Road building, construction, and all that. I believe that should be continuity. There should be continuity of policy, continuity of implementation. Well, I believe President Barrow has done a good job, and I believe he will continue to do a good job there.
Will not have done
I don't know, but I believe President Barrow has delivered on that, and I believe that he should have, if I were given a choice, other than GMT, I still believe President Barrow ought to be given an opportunity That is, relatively speaking. Do you understand that? So whether opposition can do so or not, my view is, I believe President Barrow has done a good job. And if I were to choose, like you said at the time, I would have thought that he should continue that. I believe I can continue the job. I have confidence in myself, but I cannot talk about another opposition party leader. Now, other than that, I have seen Barrow has demonstrated it. So I believe he could do that. And not only that, when we came in, at least the economy was dead. The economy is still in problems. We still have problems because we went up again, and then we went back again, then we are trying to get up again. Series of factors.
Was that when you said there was nothing in the coffers?
Well, you know, again, Mai versus Halifa.
Nobody's accusing me. He's accusing me.
Well.
No, he's accusing me. I'm not representing Halifa Saleh here, please. I'm not representing Halifa Saleh.
The observers, the people who are watching us, they are not fools. You and I are in this theater. The people watching, they know better.
But you said there was nothing in the coffers.
Let us stop.
I only said you said there was nothing in the coffers.
I agree. I said that.
But okay. On a more serious note now, I'm interested in. I mean, you said that President Barrow, you believe, had better programs compared to the others. But apart from GMC, like you had better programs than President Barrow, right? You agree, right?
Well, ask you a question, please.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Do you agree that you have better programs compared to President Barrow?
Well, I believe that GMC has better programs.
And what are some of these programs we're interested in? Because one could ask, if you had better programs, why don't you think Gambians can still trust you, even to give you a seat at the National Assembly? What programs do you have that are better than
Really? Yeah. Why is it that Gambians still could not trust other political parties?
Which political parties?
Example? All of them.
Example? Doi has been having seats in Parliament.
No, what I'm saying is that Halifa Saleh has lost election. I don't want to go into that because I have a lot of respect for the man.
Yeah.
You see, this line of argument, personalities.
No, it's not personality. I'm asking, what is your program? What is your program that is better?
I think let us go into serious issues.
Yeah.
Let us go.
Halifa Saleh, yes.
I'm asking the question. What program?
Yes, sir. On a serious note, this Doi GMC dichotomy, I'm not here for that. So please.
But I did not bring Doi. I asked. You said you have better programs compared to Barrow.
Yeah.
Okay, can you give us those specific programs that you think are better compared to Barrow? Because you are leader of a political party, and Gambians want to know the programs that GMC has. Why should they choose GMC over other political parties? Now we are getting into the integrities of the issues.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Now, we have a series of programs that we believe, for example, one in terms of our foreign policy. We believe that foreign policy is an extension of domestic policy overseas. Foreign policy is nothing but propagating the interests of your country, your domestic interests, propagating outside. Now, we believe that this country needs a robust foreign policy system because the Gambia is a very small country. We're a very small economy. We do not play a strong role in geopolitics. So it is important that our foreign policy is rendered very strong, capable, so that we will be able to at least create a cloud and assert influence and use our foreign policy to attract economic development. This is one area where I feel is weak over the years, but where we could do better. I have taken this from my personal experience. During the struggle for dictatorship, I was on the forefront of the political diplomacy in order to create an international consensus on the Gambian question, both regional and international. So I felt that paid some dividend. So we should be able to capitalize and strengthen our foreign diplomacy so that the Gambia can be in a position to be consulted. Not just to be told, Gambia, this is what we do, but the Gambia to be consulted before major decisions are made, not only in the region, but also affecting Africa. We should launch ourselves and be in such a position. So I believe that GMC has the ability to launch a very robust, patriotic, citizen-based foreign policy that will put premium on the importance of the Gambian citizen, so that consular service will be extended and every Gambian will feel protected out of our source. When you need consular assistance, the Gambia will be there to defend your interests. Whether you are in an asylum home, whether you are in jail, whether you want to conduct a business, we will have an effective consular service. That will just be like you are in your own home country. That is very necessary to do that. On the economy, we believe we need diversification, but we must focus on, of course, getting the fundamentals right. That is very important. Economic fundamentals, we must get them right first. But we must invest in the areas that will produce dividend. We must invest in social sectors. For example, one of the areas of investment is infrastructure. President Barrow has done a good job. But infrastructure is not all. You see, they are enablers of economic development. These are also indices that must be strengthened. We must look at the accountability mechanism, because that is where the crux of the problem is. Corruption, public finance management. These are institutional matters. They are systematic. They cannot be solved overnight. But a government that is concerned and that has the ability and of course that has the ambidextrosity can look at it differently. We can have a different look at that totally. Now, when you come down to the health sector, we believe that every district in this country should have a hospital. We're a small country. We have invested over the past 5 years billions into the healthcare industry. There are still deficiencies. We believe it needs a critical look. I know that they are trying to upgrade Edward Francis Moore. There are so many other areas, but there are structural problems within the health sector. But there have also been improvements over the past 5 years. It is better than it was, but we believe it can be better. Now, you look at our educational system. The Gambia must produce an educational system that competes in the world, not just for in the Gambia here. Our graduates must be marketable, because today's economy is a knowledge economy. It is not just about mere studies alone. And because today's economy is a knowledge economy, it is a migrant skills, where Gambians can get out of here, we can be needed. For example, in Israel today, it's a small country, but they have the most powerful intelligence system in the whole world. It's the Mossad. They are known to be in that area. The Gambia can export its human resource, because we will have adequate human resource for our development exigencies, and the Gambia also will be a service center. We cannot have that if we do not adapt our educational system to our objective local conditions. Instead of talking about glaciers and ice in Newfoundland, we would rather study about the rocks at Helakunda. Are you getting me? We are going to talk about our national characteristics. You see this area? So we need to revise the curricula to make it more relevant for our development needs. And instead of producing too many lawyers and too many historians, we have to look, where do we want to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Yeah. What does the Gambia need in terms of its development requirements? TVET is important, because you cannot do without it. Yeah. But where really is our weakness in terms of our human resource requirements today? We need doctors, we need scientists, we need architects, we need engineers. We need a lot of these things. These are the areas where we need to invest more. These are the areas where we need to offer more scholarships. And these are the areas where we need to develop our universities for. We need a research think tank that will look at where we are going wrong and where we should go, to act as ancillary to government, to all government that is doing. Look at the basic primary school level. Before you talk about higher education, there are bottlenecks at the primary level. Yeah. How many of our school leavers at primary school can hold their head? Huge problems. There are disparities in learning sequences between the urban and the rural areas in terms of facilities and so forth. Today, we should be computerizing our schools. We can do this. We can use solar technology. Schools should have access to internet. For God's sake, this is the 21st century. We talk about knowledge economy. So these are areas where we feel we must do, so that development can move at the space of space, at the space of not just at the space of light, not just speed. Development can move at that. So we need a new trajectory. When you move out of there, then you go into the area of tourism and so forth. I do not even believe we need a minister of tourism. Frankly, I don't believe that.
You don't?
Really? No, I don't.
Why?
I don't. The tourism is a very good industry, but tell me, the kind of tourism we have, we need to change that. And I know Honorable Hamad Ba has done a good job. We can still do more. But I believe that tourism should generate more income than it is. We have package tourism. These things are paid in London, in Frankfurt, in Barcelona, and they come in, they have small amount of money that they are spending here, and all these things are spent over there. You know, how much filters down? So these are areas. I am not saying that President Barrow's government has not done much in tourism. You have asked me areas where I feel we can do more. You see? So do not interpret this to now he's criticizing. No. You've asked for my program. I'm not giving you where we can do me or audience. I'm just giving a caveat.
Yes, because it's not criticizing.
I'm just giving a caveat.
Yeah.
So these are areas. Now, when you come to in terms of governance itself, you know, we need to strengthen institutions.
How about agriculture? People are interested.
I've not finished. I'm coming.
Yeah, he's coming.
You know, governance is very important. we need to strengthen our institutions, because if the institutions are not strong, we will not be able to implement all these things I'm talking about. And we are dealing with mindsets, people's head mindset, Gambians. Gambian wala miralia. Do you know what I mean? But how do you do that? It's very difficult. But we can only do so, not only do so. One way of doing so is changing the rules of the game. We must change the rules of the game. When you change the rules of the game, this is a two-way line. One car going this way, another coming this way.
Yeah.
Now, if you create a legislation and make that road one-way traffic, over time, what will people do? Will you have another car coming on the other side?
No.
You cannot legislate against human conduct, because human conduct is very ethereal. It's very difficult to. It's like smoke. You cannot contain smoke all the time, but at least you can regulate, and we need to move towards that direction. Now, when you come to agriculture, I come to agriculture last. There are other things I could talk about.
Yeah.
But agriculture is extremely important. This country should be able to feed itself. But we need a sensible land policy. Of course, we need that. You know why? Because the Gambia's land mass is not going to increase.
Yeah.
The Gambia's borders, we are not going to invade into Senegal or invade into the Atlantic Ocean. Our map, our littoral, our boundaries are what they are. Do you understand? So our land mass is not going to increase. But there is population explosion. Population is increasing at exponential rate. We need agriculture, we need dwellings, we need for economic and other purposes. So we need a sensible land system, land policy system that will take all of this into accommodation. The Congo is awash with land disputes.
Yeah.
All over. I mean, I'm back in the courts. I'm practicing law right now. I have cases in my hands. Most of them are land matters. Dispute upon dispute.
Yeah.
So really, to tell you the truth, agriculture can work. We have to take care of the environment. We can feed ourselves. But people don't want it.
Yeah.
The attitude of governments must change if we have to feed ourselves. How many people? Because people feel when you go to school, it is a prevalent view.
Yeah.
So you are dealing with mindsets.
Yes.
Unless we change that kind of mindset, we will continue to import food stuff, and we will continue to be impacted by, by disruptions in the global supply chain, because governments don't want to get back to the land. And do not tell me government has not given them incentives.
What incentive have they given?
That's not
What incentive have they given?
Look,
Charles Mellon, honorable tissue.
Look, what I'm saying is that
Wow.
there are opportunities now. There is this rice value chain which is there. I think some 80 million or something of that sort. But how many young people or how many Gambians have created a company and they want to go into agriculture? I know that there are problems of access to capital, to credit. These are structural problems.
You talk about land issues here, and also there's access to financial access to.
These are issues,
Yeah.
but notwithstanding, if you go to the provinces today, there are too many farms that are empty. I'll give you an example, typical example of my own village. My family, we have lots of land. Today I'm the surviving male, the eldest male of my grandfather's household.
Okay.
I have a lot of land in Kerewan in Nyakwe, from Faradara all the way down to Bimboto. I have a lot of land, but my brothers, some are over there, others are here, so we are not farming. And there are too many families like that. We are all concentrated here. We are abandoning farmlands. These farmlands are not affected by land policy. They are not affected by land grabbing. They are not affected by land disputes in the combos. Of course, combos may have, but overwhelming part of the country are not impacted by this. The farms are not there. We are abandoning them.
Honorable Mai Fati, the simplest thing that farmers need is fertilizer. During Jammeh's time, fertilizer was $700, $800.
Yes.
Today, fertilizer was $2,500. Just 2 days ago, they said that they have reduced it to $2,000. How many farmers can afford number of bags of fertilizer just to do their farming? Like if all these, if the young people are not farming, but the people that are farming, how can we empower them? Number one, make fertilizers cheap for them.
I agree with you.
And that is not cheap.
Well, I agree with you. Fertilizer is extremely expensive. Even though it has been reduced by $500, it is still exorbitant.
It is
out of the reach of too many people. I agree with you. Nobody can quarrel with that. That is the fact.
Yeah.
Now, but what they are saying is that it is also impacted by the global disruptions in global supply chain. It is that issue, as much I would say, needs to be looked into by government again, perhaps looking for other funds to subsidize more. That would be a helpful way to go about it in order to cushion the challenge, the difficulty for our farming community. But it is also one of the indices, the characteristics, the offshoots of what the whole world is experiencing today. You know, and if you just give an example, I'm going to read very briefly what people have said, which is not Gambia government, but independent institutions, not Mai Fati. You know, these you can agree or disagree, but this is very recent because it is as of 6 June, I think. June 6, you know, and this is from the, I would say, the World Bank.
Okay.
This is a World Bank statement made by World Bank. There's a part of it which I would like to read.
Yeah, okay. I do know there are price hikes across the world, but governments are also taking measures to mitigate these things. And that's what we have seen across the world. What should our government do to mitigate? Number one, the price hikes in the country. And today, as we speak, I was coming, there was no diesel. Up to this moment, my driver is trying to get diesel. So all of these things, but what is government doing to mitigate all of this, Honorable Mai Fati? Do you want to say these things are normal?
No, Father, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say these things are normal.
Yeah.
I have written about them. I have spoken about them. That what we need to do in order to assuage this hardship. Frankly, a lot of communities, a lot of families are hurting very deeply. Poverty is rising. Living standard, putting food on the table is extremely difficult. And I understand, I empathize with the Gambian population. I know that we are living through very difficult times. Going to the market, I go to the market too. Yeah. You know, I also go to the market. I do nduga, I bring it home. I know what is there. And so even if somebody says Ibukata, but at least there are videos showing me in the market. But I have a family. My wife goes to the market. I mean, and my sisters go to the market. My brother's wives go to the market. I know what is in the market today. We all know what is happening with regards to the food situation. Now, I will say, certainly, yes, these are issues. But Fatou, there are external factors, but also there are internal factors. You see, we must take care of these issues ourselves. If our food is dependent on other countries, we will always experience this. The solution to this is to invest heavily in agriculture, to go into agribusiness. I think what if anything, what Ukraine has taught us, what COVID-19 has taught us, is that we must depend on ourselves. It means we must invest more in agriculture. We have to make agriculture attractive so that young people will not just say, I am educated, agriculture is not for me. We must mechanize agriculture. Not just giving them donkeys and, you know, these no,
that was given to Badi.
I don't want to say
you
that.
You can mention that.
Are you talking about what the Honorable Minister gave him right now? The thing he's talking about is what?
I use those things myself. When my dad was alive, I mean, even when I go home today, if I used to go to the farm, I would use those things.
But do you go to the farm, Honorable?
Oh yeah, of course. Listen, I'm a farmer.
I'm a farmer.
No. I was born in a farming home. I mean, I was brought up in a farming home.
But you're not a farmer now.
And I did farming all throughout. I did my farming all throughout until a level where I started, you know, my personal independence. Okay. You know, but
you are a retired farmer.
Well, no, I'm not a retired farmer. In fact, I would
on break.
No, I would like to go on farm. Yes, I'm on break now. Yes.
I just want to ask this. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's regarding the, most talked about document.
What is that?
The draft constitution. Oh. Well, someone said it's in coma. It has not died yet. You went to Nigeria with other political leaders. Of course, Goodluck Jonathan was in town, coming in and out to see how best to help, to reconcile our differences. People might be interested to know, what is your position, the position of Honorable Mai Fati, and the position of the GMC on the draft constitution, especially the most controversial retroactive clause of the draft constitution?
Well, my opinion is abundantly available on social media. It's online. I have spoken about this in Nigeria when I came from Nigeria, before we went to Nigeria, when it was about to be tabled before Parliament, when it was tabled out of Parliament. I have spoken about this multiple times. I have expressed views about them several times. and my views remain the same. But the rhetoric part of it that people talk about is no longer relevant. We have gone beyond that. It's overtaken by events. I think we should talk. I think the president had promised that it is going to be promulgated. It could be
an issue again, Honorable. You know why?
Well, when we reach that bridge, we can.
Yeah, it could still be an issue.
For now, I don't want to speculate.
No, but what I'm saying is, people might not have followed. I mean, what you have said repeatedly about this. So if you could tell.
No, I would not. I have said so much about that.
But you could still not tell us.
No. I mean, anybody who is interested in that, you go back. It's very easy. Just type my the constitutional reform. You probably will find it. Yeah. I'm not going into that. But I can assure you that the president said he's going to bring it back this term. It is during these 5 years. And whatever issues may arise, when they arise at the time, we will deal with it. For now, I cannot speculate on this.
I'm not talking about what will come, whether it will be an issue.
Well, you say yes.
I know. I just don't want to talk about it. But yes. I mean, what has been your position? Okay. Generally, do you feel that the draft constitution is a good document?
I have
compared to the 1997.
I have spoken. It contains some new provisions. Yes, but I have expressed my views on that, and I'm not going back to that.
You can tell us, please.
Well, I'm not going back to that. If you want it, go back. You'll find the records.
Just like I found your interview with Foro. Right?
Excellent.
Honorable, before we go, I know we have just 3 minutes to go. Before we go, what we have seen with the new government is the president has changed the cabinet, and I, among other people, I am one of those people who said I love this government. No many politicians, a lot of technocrats. Comme ni ko waxe rek, cin bu naré xéñ, bu naré neex bu xéñ bu baxé rek di nga xam. It looks good, but what we have also seen is there's most of the people that the president has released of his cabinet, and some of the politicians he's sending them to the foreign service. It seems like during Jammeh's time up to the president's time, its foreign service has been perceived as a dumping ground for those that we don't want here. Should that be the way we do things, especially when it comes to diplomats, places like the UN, the Brussels, the AU, the ECOWAS? This should be really the foreign service should be for diplomats, people, seasoned diplomats, because these people are the ones that represent our country. So do you think the way we do things here is send everybody that we don't want in cabinet or permanent secretaries, we just send them to foreign service? Should that be the way we do things?
Well, like I said, it's the president's prerogative, his discretion to appoint his officers. And if he does so, I wouldn't second guess him. I would say that I believe that the foreign service is one of the most important sectors for the state. One of the most important sectors for the state. It should be an integral part of the national development agenda. So our foreign service should be people, we should develop career diplomats. People who are extremely knowledgeable, people who have the ability and the acumen to bring development. Not just anecdotal here and there, bring some business delegate, accompany them. At the end of the day, in fact, those business so-called projects are nothing achieved. Or be there when minister comes or government officer comes, you receive them at the airport, attend meetings, you send the post here and there. We need a proactive foreign service. We need a foreign service that will make President Barrow one of the most important presidents in Africa. We need a foreign service that will render him into that position. We need a foreign service that will make the Gambia one of the most recognized countries in Africa. One of the most countries that will be consulted. When the developed countries think of Africa, Gambia will be among the first 10. We need a kind of foreign service. We need a foreign service that will go out there, look for opportunities, bring it, not sit down and wait for opportunities and bring them over. Oftentimes, the opportunities that come to you are not the best for this country.
It's what you go look.
We need those. We need the Googles here. We need the Microsoft here. We need the multinationals here. They come and create. They come and, first of all,
we need to
transfer the technology.
To monetize our content.
Train our people. Yes. That is what we need. The foreign service is good, but I think we need a more proactive one. I would like to see President Barrow, in a meeting with President Biden. I would like to see President Barrow invited by, let's say, G7, even if we are not
members, but to be.
I would like President Barrow sit here, and then the foreign minister of Russia comes in to meet the President Barrow. I would like the Gambia make a statement about something, then it appears on CNN. That's what I would like to see. We must build our foreign service to a level where we ought to be respected and build sufficient sovereign clout to a level where the Gambia will be a force to reckon.
Are we doing that right now?
No.
Okay, finally from me, Mr. Honorable, your people in URR said you should work with President Barrow. They think you are brothers.
Yes.
They think you are from the same region.
Yes.
And you also echoed that if you were going to endorse anybody when you were rejected, if you had done it, you should have been President Barrow, because you believed in his programs more than any of those other politicians.
Well, I think it's a more alternative choice.
More alternative choice.
Yes.
To the others.
Yes.
Now, and your people are also saying you should join him. Is there going to be a way, at the day where we'll see you work with President Barrow, either in the government or even in the foreign side or anywhere? Is there a possibility that Mai Fati can work with President Barrow again?
Well, there's always political realignment. And what they call politicians are opportunists, politicians don't have principle. I disagree with that.
I disagree too.
I believe that if I can offer an area where I believe I can be instrumental and I'll be given the opportunity to implement, and the assurance is there. Yes, it's possible that President Barrow and I can work together again. Possibilities, I have no qualms against that.
Okay.
I mean, we have no personal problems.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
We are personal friends. He is like, brother, I know the family knows me, they know my family. We are on the personal level, we are okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong between us. It's politics here and there. It's not major to create a schism. Really, there are no fractures here. So if there is an opportunity where I feel I can be useful, and I will have the opportunity to implement what I feel I can offer, why not?
Why not?
Possibility exists, yes.
Great, that's good, and I think that's what every government should work as. Because as a Gambian, if you think there are areas that you can contribute to, you should not wait for anybody to tell you.
And then all they say, Maya be plus, you know.
Plus, you know, for me, I believe in something. As long as you're able to do something for your country and move the agenda of the country, that is important.
I really don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care what those people say. I really don't.
Finally, from me. What next for Mai Fati and the GMC? What next?
Well, like I said, GMC needs introspection. We have not suddenly succeeded in many areas. That is a fact. I mean, I will not sit down here and talk about things that are not true. I mean, let us be honest. GMC has not succeeded very well in areas where it could. And there are many reasons for that. So we have to go through a process of reform, a process of introspection. How do we do what we should do? What were the things we did we should not have done? What should we be doing now? Do we have the resources? How are we going to raise the resources? What are we going to do with it? How can we be an attractive alternative to Gambians? Because suddenly we have not been. So all these are areas that GMC must look into. And this is not a matter for Mai Fati alone. This is a matter for those who are currently carrying on with GMC and for those who wish well for GMC. Oh, so GMC exists. Should we go and merge with another political party? Should we, what should be our future? These are our matters that GMC is going through. These are things we should look at. So at the moment, I cannot be specific, but these are issues that we are studying. Now, for Mai Fati, currently I am practicing law. I am a lawyer. I am in court. I'm handling some cases. I'm offering legal advice. So that is currently what I'm working on. That is what I have been before politics. I have been during politics, and that's my vocation. So that's what Mai Fati is doing now. As for the future, I will continue to work for national development. I will continue to working for national service. That's what I will.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you, Esa. My final message to Gambians that are watching.
I want to thank Kerr Fatou very much. It says return.
Yeah.
It
was a good return.
I get very tough questions here, which I like.
Yes.
Because she's my sister, but at the same time, she will tell me, look, when it comes time to work, and I respect that.
Yes.
So for Gambians, I would say, Ali, let us come together.
Yeah.
You see, let us stop this petty talk.
Yeah.
What we say with the bari.
Theater.
If I can work with A, B, and C, and we can find a common ground to work, let us work together.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are Gambians.
We are Gambians.
You know, whatever you do, everybody is going to feel the pinches here.
Yeah.
So let us work for the development of our country. It is not material who is in power, who is not.
Yeah.
If you can support the government, you are supporting yourself. But everything the government does, if it is good,
we must,
and you talk about it or you want to support it, then either you are a sellout you are looking for a job,
yes,
or you should not, you are inconsistent. I mean, and that is foolish. That is foolish. I don't care about it. I'm not moved by that. I want to work for my country. If the government is doing well, I will praise the government, I will support them, and I will work with them. If I disagree, I will make my views known, respectfully. But it is not about enmity. Nobody is an enemy here. We are all Gambians. So let us learn to work together. Let us learn to appreciate each other. This excessive partisanship must end. Let's put an end to these so-called callers. You belong to that caller, you belong to that caller. If you are not in my camp, you are not in my caller, you are not in my party, everything you say is wrong. And if I'm in your camp, everything I say, even if it is the worst, must be right.
Is that the reason for the dress code?
So these things
red, white, blue, white, green.
Yes, I represent the Gambia.
Yes.
It is the Gambia that matters. Yes. So here, let us work together as one.
Yes.
I don't care who characterizes me where I belong. Really, you are not responsible for me. I am a mature adult. So worry about yourself. Don't worry about what I say. I am a leader, yes. If you believe in my principles, you can follow me. If you don't, there are other options. But I'm not bothered by what you think about me. I am bothered about what I think about the country. That is the issue. So let us learn to work together. And let us support President Barrow so that he can deliver on the mandate. Government gave me a mandate. I, for one, I'm going to support him.
Whatever that means.
Well, we can interpret it anyhow you want.
Well, he said he's going to support President Barrow, and I think, you know, at the end of the day, so I wanted to say politics is over, but somebody reminded me yesterday that politics is never over, so I'm not a politician, so I cannot even say that. But again, thank you very much, Honorable Mai. Like he said, that's my brother, and everybody knows that. He's the only politician that I can call my brother openly, and I don't get any issues with that, because everybody knows. But we will always say it's always good to have you on the show, but when he comes here also we will ask the tough questions, only that I will not allow you to drag things like that. But thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you, Esa, and to the technical team, thank you very much. Good night to you all. See you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Better and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.